So let's add a login button. For that I'm going to use row main axis alignment dot center children text have an account style text style color colors dot gray and font size of 15. Forgot to add a size box, sized box of height 20. And here we can use another size box, not here, after this text widget, and we can use width of 5, and we can use gesture detector on tab navigator dot. Okay, let's keep this empty. Child text sign in style text style font size around 15, color dark theme, colors dot amber dot shade 400 or colors dot blue. So that's it. Now let's add a function here in our register button. I'm just going to use submit. And let's create this submit function here. After this, so we're going to use few more dependencies, so let's add them one by one. Firebase core, then Firebase auth and Firebase database. We will be using real time. You can also use Firebase storage. And Firebase messaging for later. Now let's create this submit button, submit function, void submit asynchronous. If all the fields are validated, then validate all the form fields. If Okay, we have to add another thing in the form here, key. We can just use form key. So if form key dot current state dot validate, then we can use await Firebase. Okay, let's make another directory called global, and here we can use global dart, and in the global we can create some variable of Firebase auth equals to Firebase auth dot instance and user, current user, and user model current. We will be creating it later, so I'm just going to comment this out. And in the Firebase auth dot create user with email and password, for email you can use email text editing controller dot text dot trim, and for password you can use password dot text dot trim. And after this, if you are going to use, then instead of value auth we can make this asynchronous as well. If current user equals to auth dot user, then we can use current user. If not equals to null, then we can add a map, user map, and we have to create a map of id current user dot uid, then name text editing controller dot text dot trim, and in the similar way we can add other details like email address, phone, email address and phone. So after this, creating this map, we have to add this to our database. So database reference user reference equals to Firebase database dot instance dot ref dot child users. and we can set our map in the user ref dot child current user dot uid dot set user map, and everything we can use await and Flutter toast. For that we have to add another dependency, and that is Flutter toast pubget dependency is added. So let's this Flutter toast dot show toast successfully registered. Navigator dot push context material page route to main screen. So if we successfully log in, then it will go to register screen. We can use a catch here. Error message Flutter toast dot show toast error occurred. Error message. And after this if, we can use Flutter toast dot show toast not all fields are valid. That's it. Now we can add cap here. Let's add 20 here. Yeah, now it looks good. So let's add mining. Icon castle mail icon @gmail.com phone 016111111 and address 101 by 1 Dhaka. Password 123456 and 123456. Let's register. Okay, let's check our database. Okay, we have to enable our authentication before we can add our email and password, and we have to use Firestore, not Firestore, Fire real-time database. So you have to hit create database. So next, in test mode or lock mode, it doesn't matter. Hit next, enable. Now change these rules to true. Let's see if there is any error. No Firebase app has been created. Okay, so we have to initialize Firebase here in our main.dart. So I'm going to change few things. I'm going to use future void asynchronous widgets flutter binding dot should and await Firebase dot initialize app. Now let's add Aegon Castle, aegon@gmail.com, phone number is 016111111, address 101 by 1 Dhaka, password 123456 and 123456. It's not showing anything, and why is that? Let's check. Okay, alright, so let's run this project again. And okay, so go to build.gradle, and here we have to change our minimum SDK version to 21. Now let's run it again. taking a bit time. Yeah, now it's running. Okay, so let's input. Registered successfully. So if we go to our console.firebase.com, we can see a new user econcastle@gmail.com email. User ID is this, and go to real-time database. Then you can see users, and this is our data that we saved. So it's working perfectly. Now let's create our login screen, and here we can use import material.dart, then stateful widget, login screen, and instead of placeholder we can use gesture detector. On tab, and we can use this focus scope, then child scaffold, I'm just going to copy paste some things from our register screen. Okay, before that let's declare some variable. Email, we only need email, and okay, let's copy this. We only need email and password. And password. We also need form key. Then we can go to our register screen and copy this, paste this here. Instead of register we can write login. I'm going a bit fast here because we already did this stuff. So login, we don't need this name, we need email. Okay, so let's go to main login screen. Let's import email validator. We don't need this phone. not even address. We need password. We don't need confirm password. Here we can write login, and instead of we can have an account, we can write doesn't have an account, then register. Okay, we have to copy this boolean and paste it. Now let's rerun the app and see what is. Yeah, now it's showing fine. Let's create this submit function, so we can write, we can actually copy this and paste it. Instead of we can write sign in with email and password dot then user equals to current user. We don't need this stuff. Successfully logged in. Let's import this. Yeah, and it's done. Let's try to log in. Logged in successfully. So before we continue, let's change few things. Here we are going to call our splash screen, and then we have to change few things here. For example, let's set a timer. We can make this a bit larger. Font size, weight dot bold. So let's add a timer. Timer duration around 5 seconds or 3 seconds. depends how heavy your project is. And then we can add if await Firebase auth dot current user is not equals to null, then Firebase auth dot current user not equals to null, then we can create assistant methods here, right? Create a new directory, assistants, and here we can create a dart file, assistant methods, and here we can class assistant methods okay. Before that we need another thing, and that is we need to create a model class. We are going to create a user model. So let's class user model. We are actually creating this model class to fetch our data from the Firebase, which we will store locally. String email, string address, user model. Let's this dot phone, this dot email, this dot name, this dot id, this dot address, and that's it. Now let's create another thing from data snapshot, snap phone equals to snap dot value as dynamic phone. Snap dot key for id, then name, email, and address. Okay, so now we can make our function void read current online user info, and we can make it asynchronous. Then current user equals to Firebase auth dot current user, and database reference user ref equals to Firebase database dot instance dot ref dot child user dot child current user dot uid. User ref dot once dot then instead of value let's snap if snap dot snapshot dot value not equals to null, then user okay. Let's go to global dart and enable this user model current info equals to user model dot from snapshot snap dot snapshot. And now we can write assistant methods dot read current user or null, navigator dot push context material page root see main screen. Else to login screen. Now let's run this again. We have to call this in a init state, so start timer. As it was already logged in, so it is showing main screen. Okay, and yeah, that's it. So before we continue, let's add a forgot password screen. dart file, forgot password screen, and here we can import material.dart. Then we can create a stateful widget, forgot password screen, and here I can just copy and paste things from here. Let's copy everything from here and paste it, and let's copy this email controller, as we are going to reset our password with email, and this form key, and let's add this boolean variable for our dark and light theme. Now let's remove few things. We don't need this text form field. We need this one, not the other one, so let's remove this. And in email validator, we have to import our email validator. Then on submit, let's create this function here. Submit, we are just going to write Firebase auth dot send password reset email, then email text editing controller dot text dot trim. And then we can just show a Flutter toast message that we have sent you an email to recover password. Please check email. And for error, we can write flutter toast dot show toast error occurred, error dot to string. Now let's go to our login page, copy this line and come down here on our gesture detector, not here, this one, for forgot password, and paste it, and forgot password screen. Now if we click here, instead of login we have to change this one as well, forgot password screen. Here we can write, we don't need, already have an account. have an account, then login. And here we can send this to login page, login screen, and we have to change this one, set reset password link. Now if I write egon@gmail.com and send this, then there is no user record corresponding to this identifier. The user may have been deleted. Let's add Egon Castle. We have sent you an email to recover password. That means egon@gmail.com has no account in the Firebase, and Egon Castle exists, so they have sent an reset password link. Okay, let's go to our email. So here we can see our email, but if we go to spam folder, then there is this reset link, and if we click here, then we can set our new password. I'm just going to write 654321. Our password change. Let's try this. Egon castle@gmail.com. Our previous password was 123456, and try to log in. Wrong password. Now let's try 654321, and if we log in, then successfully logged in.